We shall chant from verse number 22. Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grandhati naroparaani तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि नैनं छिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनं दहति पावकः न चैनं क्लेदयन्त्यापः न शोषयति मारुतः अच्छेद्योऽयमदाह्योऽयम् अक्लेद्यो शोष्य एव च नित्यः सर्वगतस्ताणुः अचलोऽयं सनातनः अव्यक्तोऽयमचिन्त्योऽयम् अविकार्योऽयमुच्यते तस्मादेवं विदित्वैनं नानुशोचितुमर्हसि. Bhagavan begins his teaching by first telling Arjuna the nature of our own self. So Bhagavan wants to first remove his sorrow, that grief which Arjuna was feeling, because he felt that all this, my relatives, my friends, everyone will die. And whenever there is a feeling of loss, we grieve. If we think something is lost forever, we grieve. So Bhagavan tells Arjuna, from the highest standpoint, from the Paramarthik Drishti, that self, that Atma never dies. There is no death for the self, which is the essence of all of us. So essentially, we don't die. Only thing which happens is our dress keeps on changing. And when we wear a new dress, the person doesn't recognize us. With every life, with every new dress, we are born again. In the sense we wear a new dress, we are born in a different environment, different family, and we don't recognize each other. We might have lived together in our previous lifetime also. Because all of us are interrelated, we have our len-den. Len-den hota hai. So we are born again and again, mostly in the same type of environment, wherein we have to fulfill our len-den. But we don't recognize. See, when even sometimes we see some movies or some drama, the person changes through makeup, and then we can't recognize that actor. Especially when they have to do this drama on Ramayana and all. Those who act like all these monkeys, or they have to have the role of Jambavan, nobody recognizes. Even afterwards he comes and tells, मैंने वो role किया था. People will not believe. So similarly, This, even in this lifetime, forget about new lifetime. Even in this lifetime, like many little children, they get lost in some mela or somewhere. And after many years, their features change. So even if the parents happen to see them or relatives happen to see them, they will not recognize. Because our body changes, our personality changes. Personality means our mind, our intellect, our philosophies change. And when this thing changes, it is total transformation. You will not be able to recognize the same person. Yeah. Even there are stories in our Puranas that the same personality is born again and again in a different way. Like there is a story of Jai and Vijay. They were the Parshadas, the Sevaks of Bhagwan. But they were cursed and they became Rakshasas. So first they became Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Then they were killed by Bhagwan. He took avatar as Varaha, as Narasimha. Then they were born again as Ravan and Kumbhakarna. Now you will not correlate personality of Ravan and of Hiranyakashipu. I think they were same. Or maybe Hiranyaksha. Then again they were killed by Ramchandraji and they were born again as Shishupal and Dantavakra. Same Ravan and Kumbhakarna alone were Shishupal and Dantavakra. But unka pura hawa nikal gaya tha. Means you will not even recognize that person was same as Ravan. So we are born again and again, and every time we are born, though we are born with the same mind, same intellect, but it gets transformed. Within this life also it gets transformed so many times. So we come with as though with a fresh ideas, fresh thoughts, and we lead the whole life. So from the Paramarthik standpoint, the Atma, that is I, never dies. And the body constantly changes. This is a fact of life. So Bhagavan says that knowing this fact, you should not grieve. Because only those who don't know, those who have some some wrong ideas, might grieve, but you should not grieve. So first he reveals this truth from the highest standpoint. But this Atma is unborn, indestructible, it is beyond all manifestation, it is all pervading. This fact to recognize, it takes time and effort. And generally in the world, people don't know about it. So what in the world people know, most of the people, they believe that we are born and we die. With the body, the Atma is as though born, and with the body, again it dies. When the body dies, that Atma is also dead. That is what worldly people, those who don't have background of spirituality, materialistic vision, those who have, they might think that this Atma, what we are talking about, the consciousness which is aware of this body, it must be just an expression of this physical body itself. It must be just an outcome of this physical body itself. Just as we have this dynamo, when it moves, electricity is generated. So electricity is just a byproduct of that dynamo. When it stops moving, the light also stops. We used to have in our cycles those dynamos. So pedal मारने से the light used to be on, and when you stop, it used to go off. So though the light is different from dynamo, the wires which are there within, but still it is a product of the dynamo, and it can illumine things. Similarly, there are some people who, without having proper understanding of the scriptures, they have this feeling that this Atma, they don't call it Atma, but may call it consciousness, may call it life, is just a byproduct of this body. That this body is arranged in a particular way. All this RNA, DNA, proteins, and all sorts of things. And the combination permutations has created this body, and this life is expressing through it. If you read various theories of how life began on earth, a variety of theories are there. That just chemicals were there, and because of some lightning or thunder or something, the first spark of life happened, and then it continued. They tried to make that life in a laboratory also, but till now have not succeeded. So that is one thought, that life is born with the body and it dies with the body. So Bhagwan, just for the sake of arguments, or for the sake of those people who are non-believers, who might not have the idea or the belief in this Paramarthik Satya, the supreme reality, he, assuming this misunderstanding, he says, even from that standpoint, even if you believe Atma is born again with the body and dies with the body, there is no need to grieve, because it is something natural, it is something which is happening. So what is the use of grieving? As they say, what is the use of crying over spilled milk? It is gone, spilled. What can you do crying? So from that standpoint, Bhagwan speaks in the following 2-3 verses from a worldly standpoint, from the worldly beliefs, those who are ignorant, materialistic, their belief. So he says, Atha chainam nitya jatam nityam va manyase mritam tathapi tvam mahabaho naivam shochitum arhasi atha chainam nitya jatam nityam va manyase hata naivam shochitum arhasi. He says athacha. Athacha means just for the sake of arguments, just even if we don't believe in this Paramarthik Satya, even from a very worldly, ignorant person's standpoint also, there is no need for you to grieve. So first Bhagwan tells Arjuna कि रोना बंद करो, then I will teach you some more things. So he says first stop grieving. See, the grief takes us at the level of our mind, emotions. And learning can happen only when we rise to the level of our intellect. When a person is emotional, that person doesn't understand. Because emotions happen when the mind is active, and the mind just feels. There is no systematic thinking or contemplation happening in the mind. The mind just feels through the senses, or going, just becoming aware of the situation. The mind feels that grief, sadness, etc. But when we rise at the level of our intellect, intellect has got the power to discriminate, to judge, to compare, to project in future, to analyze things. It has got this wonderful capacity to comprehend a situation from a very holistic standpoint also if required. So mind, the intellect is a subtler equipment. Every one of us we have. So this antakarana, which has got this fourth expression, mana, buddhi, chitta and ahankar. Mana means mind, which feels. Intellect, which thinks and understands. Then chitta has got this memory. Whatever we understand or whatever impressions we have, it is stored. And ahankar, the sense of I, with respect to the body, etc., we have the sense of I. That's called ahankar. These are all four are expressions of the antakarana. Four together are called antakarana. But at a given time, only one of them expresses. So when the mind is active, other three remains dormant. When the intellect is active, the other three remains dormant. So when a person becomes over emotional, sentimental, then the intellect doesn't function. When a person becomes over intellectual, then also the feeling doesn't play a role. When we go into the past memory, we are not aware of the present situation. When we become egoistic, the other three doesn't function. Intellect, memory. So it's very, but the expression keeps on moving so quickly that it might appear that at one time all of them are there. But it is not so. And sometimes one becomes more dominant than the other. So here Arjuna had become very emotional. He was totally overpowered by grief. So Bhagwan is removing him from that situation by making him understand something intellectually, raising him at the level of the intellect so that he comprehends these things properly and overcome this sorrow, this sadness. Because this sadness is propelling him to do what you call paradharma. When we become sad, we don't want to do what we are doing. We want to just change the time, place, situation. That is our quick solution for sadness. कि यहाँ से चले जाते, इस कंपनी को छोड़ देते हैं. You leave this job, leave this house, leave this wife or husband, leave this boss, go somewhere else, join some party. Something we want to do different only. Because we feel that by just being different, maybe my sorrow will go. So different means if we go away from our duties, and that is what was happening to Arjuna. So Bhagwan told him that you first become free of this sorrow. A wise person doesn't grieve. Why he doesn't grieve? Because he recognizes the nature of the self. Therefore, there is no logic in grieving. There is no rationality in grieving. If you are grieving for the self doesn't die. If you are grieving for the body keeps on changing. Whether you grieve or don't grieve, the things will happen in the same way. Suppose I keep grieving because the sun is setting, my grieving will not stop the sun from setting. So what has to happen will happen. Grief will not change it. So Bhagwan, he says that even from, forget about paramarthik standpoint, even from a worldly person standpoint, if one believes that the Atma is born along with the body and it dies when the body dies, even then there is no need to grieve, because this is also a natural phenomena. Every day you find people are taking birth and they die. So atha chainam nitya jatam, even if we accept this, that nitya jatam, this Atma is constantly born. And nityam va manyase mritam, and constantly it is dying. With the death of the body, it dies. No more to come again. Even if somebody has got this type of philosophy, which is not, Bhagavan doesn't accept it, but even if you have such wild philosophy, then also you should not grieve. See, it's like a person who believes in God, he prays. But those who don't believe, what can they do? You can't pray. Oh God, if you are there, please help me if you can. That can be the only prayer they can. So if one believes that the Atma is born with the body and dies with the body, he says, Tathapi tvam mahabaho, even then, he mahabaho, naivam shochitum arhasi. It doesn't befit you to grieve in this way. Because whether we are talking about a short time or long time, ultimately the body dies, and with that the Atma will also die. So there is no need for you to grieve. So short life you have, live happily. Live happily, doing whatever you have to do. And when death comes, go happily, without resisting unnecessarily. So this is a very worldly logic which Bhagavan is giving here. Ki atha chayanam nitya jatam nityam va manyase mritam tathapi tvam mahabaho naivam shochitum arhasi. You don't have to grieve. Why? What is the logic behind it? He says in the next verse, it's a very famous verse, he says, Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu dhruvam janma mritasya cha tasmad apariharyerthe natvam shochitum arhasi jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu dhruvam janma mritasya cha natvam shochitum arhasi. He says, why? Because jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu. This is also a law which we see, which we observe with our senses. We see this, that all those who are born, they die. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu. This is one prediction we can make without going wrong. Many people like to become astrologers and all. This one prediction you can never be wrong. But this one prediction nobody wants to listen. They don't want to listen, Baba. Listen, tell me how long I will live and all. See, somebody's birth, somebody's pregnant and all, we ask about birth. When the child will be born. But somebody is dying, we don't want to raise that topic. We don't ask, when are you dying, what is happening? Because that we don't want to raise that topic. Even when the doctor says, iska to ho gaya abhi, kuch nahi ho sakta hai. Even then, we go to meet that person and all, we don't raise that topic. We just tell some here, idhar udhar ki kahani sunate. And give some false hope also. ये विभूति लाई है, सब ठीक हो जाएगा. विभूति खा के ही बेचारा और परेशान हो जाता है. Anyway, so jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu. When we are born with our expiry date written actually. We cannot read it. Just as when we buy a medicine, there is expiry date. We are born with our expiry date written on us. लाभ हानि जीवन मरण यश अपयश विधि हाथ. Tulsidas ji says, लाभ हानि, what we will gain in this world, what we will lose in this world, outwardly, inwardly. Jivan marana, when we will be born, when we will die. Yasha apayasha, fame and ill fame, all this is vidhihat. It is all written, it's all in prarabdha. Lot of things are already destined. Here also, before the war began, Arjuna, Bhagwan tells him that this war is already fought. All of them are already killed. He showed Arjuna in his Virat Roop, Bhagwan showed his Virat Roop. In that, Bhagwan showed the whole war to Arjuna. It's already done. It's like somebody acting in a drama, the script is already written. Or you go to see a movie, already it's done, like the end is already there. We might not know. In the beginning we are suspense, ab kya hoga, kya hoga. It's already been written. Similarly, there are things which are destined because they are the product of our karma. This body is the product of our karma. And it's called prarabdha karma. Prarabdha means already arabdha ho gaya, arambha ho gaya hai. It has started giving the result. It's like a arrow which is already left the bow. So the arrow will just go and fall at the appropriate place. So jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu. It is just a question of time. Some die early, some die after a long time. It's just a question of time. And even those who live for a long time, they also feel the life is short. Or sometimes one lives for a short time and feels life is long. So that is also subjective, how we experience our own life, how fast it is going, how slow it is going. In cities and all, the life goes very fast, active. Before we know, the day is gone. So it's very fast. In villages, in some simple places, you will find it going very slow, as though the watch is not moving at all. बुलक कार्ट में बैठ के आराम से एक गांव से दूसरे गांव में जाते तो ऐसा लगता है कि पूरे दिन भर हम वी आर ट्रैवलिंग आराम से वहाँ पर. टाइम इज नॉट मूविंग, बट सम प्लेसेस इट मूव्स वेरी फास्ट. काल क्रीडति गच्छति आयुः. द काल गोज, आयु इज गॉन. So jatasya hi dhruvo mrityu. Hey Arjun, one who is born, it definitely dies. And you become just a nimitta. This war and all is just a nimitta. That fellow has to die, he will die. Nobody can stop. And if he has to live, he will live. Nobody can destroy that person. Jako rakhe saiya maar sake na koi. Not only that, but जाको राखे प्रारब्ध मार सके ना कोई. Even they take poison to die, but then comes to know it is adulterated. उसकी हेल्थ भी अच्छी तंदुरुस्त हो जाता है. So it's quite strange. So jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu. Death is certain. And one more line Bhagwan adds कि ध्रुवम जन्म मृतस्य च. For one who is dead, birth is also certain. Need not, if we don't believe the same Atma is born, you believe that again some other, it's like the waves which are rising. If the waves fall down, then it is definitely it will rise again also. If you cut the grass, again it grows. If someone dies, again some other personality comes up. So this goes on and on and on. From time immemorial, millions of people have taken birth, millions of people have died. Our human beings themselves, we have come on this earth, according to whatever research they have done, about 2 million years ago. So many millions and millions of human beings are born and they have died. This is a natural phenomena. So Bhagavan says, Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityu dhruvam janma mritasya cha. If somebody is dead, will be born again. That same body is recycled. My body becomes somebody else's body, it gets recycled. So if nature believes in recycling, again that same jiva will be born again. Or even if you don't believe the same jiva is born again, somebody else will be born. So it goes on and on and on. So tasmad apariharyerthe, therefore, hey Arjuna, that which is inevitable, that which cannot be stopped, that which is a natural phenomena, there is no purpose, there is no, it doesn't befit you to grieve for that. There is no benefit of grieving over that. It will not help in any way. If you are grieving for that, it will not help in any way. Nat tvam shochitum arhasi. Therefore, just accept it as it is and just face this situation. You can't do anything about it. That for which we can't do anything, we have to just accept it gracefully. It's just like some distant phenomena is there, the moon is there, or the stars are there. If they are in a particular position, they are there like that. We can't do anything about it. We can't say, no, वो star थोड़ा सा इधर होना चाहिए और ये उधर. It is there, full stop. Or certain objects of this world, certain creatures of this world are of particular nature, they are like that. We can't change. Even in our kitchen, we have so many masalas. If namak is namkeen, it is namkeen. You can't do anything about it. In fact, it is good that it is namkeen. Then at least you know how much to put and what to do with it. So, tasmad apariharyerthe, for that which is inevitable, nat tvam shochitam arhasi. Hey Arjun, you should not grieve. Now, in the following verse, Bhagavan takes up another standpoint, another philosophy which people might have, who might say that, oh, forget about that Atma. What about this body? What about this personality which we have? What about this Bhishma Pitamaha, Dronacharya? What about my own grandfather, my brothers, my sister? They have their own personality, which is associated with their body, which is associated with the mind. Even if I believe the Atma is eternal, unborn, non-dying, but still that personality, I am attached to that personality. I can feel the loss of that personality. What about that? So Bhagavan, from that standpoint also, he says, there is no need for you to grieve. He says in the following verse, Avyaktadini bhutani Vyaktamadhyani bharata Avyaktanidhananyeva Tatra ka paridevana Avyaktadini bhutani. Tatra ka paridevan. He says that if you just accept and believe in the personality itself, then just think for some time that before they were born, what was that? Where were they? He says they were avyakta, unmanifest. They were unmanifest. Means before Bhishma Pitamaha was born, there was no such person called Bhishma Pitamaha before. And after he dies, there will never be another Bhishma Pitamaha. So only in between for a short time, there is this personality called Bhishma Pitamaha. So avyakta adini. So all beings Before they become Vyakta, become manifest in a particular body, particular personality, what were they? Avyakta. कुछ नहीं था, पता नहीं कहाँ है. And Vyakta Madhyani, in between, in the presence of the body, mind and all, they are Vyakta, they are present, they are manifest. And Avyakta Nidhananyeva, and becoming unmanifest itself is their Nidhan, is gone. So this is how it's the natural phenomena. So he says that tatra ka paridevana, what is there to grieve for this? Most of the time they are avyakta only. They were avyakta, for a short time they become vyakta, and again they are avyakta. So for this, why should you grieve? Actually, this is very important. See, our grief also, even if greatest of grief also, after some period, then we forget it. It goes away. Suppose one is grieving for somebody's loss, there is a death in the family, one grieves. And when one is grieving, sometimes one says also, आपके बिना कैसे मैं जी सकता हूँ. But even when he's saying, he's alive only. And he's saying, and all those things. So first day when it happens, that moment, the maximum grief is there. But after some times, it is less. थोड़ी भूख लगती है तो कुछ खाते भी है, नींद आती है तो सोते भी है, फिर काम पे भी जाना पड़ता है, फिर किसी के बर्थडे पे भी जाना पड़ता है. No, and its life is so strange. And sometimes we have to go with strangers who are not interested whether somebody died in your family or not. So the life goes on. So one has to learn to accept. So after some time, what happened to our grief? We learn to accept it. And when we have accepted it deeply, then even after remembering that incident, we don't feel sad. We have accepted it. Our antakarana has accepted it. We don't feel sad as we were feeling when it happened. So what happened in this period? Why the grief has become less? Because of acceptance. A wise person is one who can accept it faster. A not so wise person takes its own time. So all of us, we become free of our grief. Sometimes one may say that no, it lasts throughout the life. At least next life we are free of that grief. Past life का grief कुछ नहीं है. Past life, our parents have died, our grandparents have died, our property got lost, our party got defeated in the election. But still we are happy in this life. So this grief is also very strange. Somebody asked our Guruji that what is the secret of happiness? He said, weak memory. Sometimes even to grieve we should have memory. People then get really irritated. Sometimes two people they grieve, they're separated and all. And then that other person comes to know that this fellow is not grieving. Get irritated. आपको कुछ दुख नहीं हो रहा है. Only I am grieving here. So only to show that person, so you show some little grief. So this grief, sense of losing something, this, that and all, is also a temporary phenomenon on our antakarana. Because deep within, the self is of the nature of happiness. Even if you want, even if you take a pledge, take a vow, take a what you call pratijna, that I will remain grieving all the time, it is not possible. It is not possible to remain sad for a long time. You cannot take a pratijna of negative things. I will remain always angry. It's not possible. At least during sleep, he will become shant and all. So because these are phenomena which happens temporarily. They are not our nature. So similarly, all these beings, all of you who are here, we are here in a particular personality, but that personality is meant only for this lifetime. In the next lifetime, we are born with our same mind, but a different personality. And that is the beauty. Therefore, Bhagwan is called a creator, that he has been creating human beings for the past so many years, and so many of them, but each and every one of us are different. There are no two people who are same. Our physical body is not same. Even twins, they are not same. Our mind, our feelings, our philosophies, our emotions, they are not same. Even in this lifetime, it keeps on changing constantly. So this is a natural phenomena. We should learn to accept a new personality. We should learn to accept change. Because change is the very nature of this life, of this world. So if a wise person is one who accepts it instantly, like quickly. One moment he is unhappy, next moment he is free from that unhappiness. Because it's natural to be unhappy also. It is natural to grieve. But to keep on grieving is not natural. Bhagwan uses the term anushoch. Anu means continuously. Shok means, shoch is the grief. But continuous grief, he says, is not wise, not proper. Nanu shochanti panditaha. He says wise person doesn't continuously grieve. A wise person also grieves. But he doesn't maintain that grief by his self-effort. See, when we fall, we get hurt, we get bruised. It is a natural phenomena. But we should give it time to heal. But if I keep on scratching, keep on opening that wound, then it will take long time to heal. Similarly, to grieve for some loss and all, it's natural phenomena because this mind is reacting to it. Our antakarana is reacting. But through proper wisdom, we should be able to accept it quickly and transcend it. So that is what Bhagwan says, that all these personalities which you are attached to, they were not there before. They are there now for a short time, and they will not be there later on. And they are there not because of you, but because of their own karma. You have not brought them. They are there by their own karma. By grieving, non-grieving, it will not get extended. It's like we see a drama and we like somebody's role. That person, as soon as he enters, we clap and we are very happy and all. In Ram Leela and all, some of the characters, they create so much of joy, even negative characters. Surupana भी आ जाती है तो लोग पूरा एकदम उत्साह से भर जाते हैं. Everyone cheers and all. But Ramchandra is going to the forest and ठीक है अभी क्या करे. Hanumanji comes and everyone is very peaceful. And we want that person to remain for a long time. Now Surpanaka can't be there whole throughout the Ramayana. Even if you like, even if she wants to remain there, the director will tell her कि आपका हो गया काम. Now please, अब ये राज्याभिषेक हो रहा है बीच में, don't move around here and there. So, similarly, each one of us, we have our role to play. See, if the same personality were to remain for a long, long time, people will get tired. And we see it in every field, even in the political field or business field. One person remaining for a long time, retire ही नहीं होता है, others will become tired. Just imagine Bhishma Pitamaha was even now present. क्या कर लेते? नहीं? What? It would have been so strange, like he is still present there and moving around and all. It would have been real difficult. So, avyaktadini bhutani, vyaktamadhyani bharata. So, we are grieving for our parents, grandparents, this and that, but this is the phenomena. All of us will live for a short time and we go. Our role is for a short time. We have to do it to the best of our ability and just go. And those who are going, we should not stop. And those who have gone, we need not grieve for them, because they have gone to play some different role. And they might be present here amidst us, we are not recognizing them. All our parents, grandparents and elders and all, they again come back in some other form, we don't recognize them. So, avyakta nidhananyeva tatra ka paridevana. Therefore, hey Arjuna, why are you grieving? There is no need to grieve, even if you think in this way. But this is a worldly standpoint. The paramarthik drishti is that Atma is neither born nor does it die. This is Vyavaharik drishti, where we talk about some other things, but the ultimate supreme vision is that where we understand the nature of our own self, and that makes us free of all grief. But when it is said, when the scriptures talk about the nature of the self, it becomes very difficult to comprehend. And that is the beauty of that Bhagavan now reveals in the next verse. He says, Ascharyavat pashyati kaschidenam Ascharyavat vadati tatheva chanyaha Ascharyavat-chainamanya shrunoti Shrutva-penam vedana chaiva kaschit Ascharyavat pashyati kaschidenam Ascharyavat vadati tatheva chanyaha. Bhagavan says this Atma, which is unborn, eternal, all-pervading, unmanifest, which is experienced as I, but at present we are experiencing it along with our bodies. Its nature is supreme peace and happiness. It is indicated in the scriptures as Sat Chit Ananda Swarup. That Atma has to be realized, recognized. That's called Atma Sakshatkar, the direct experience of our own self, immediate experience of our own self, which the scripture says possible through the proper sadhana. We can see ourselves as we are. Bhagavan says one who sees oneself as he is, the self-realized master, how does he see his self? He says he looks at it as a wonder. Ascharyavat pashyati kaschidenam. Kaschit, very rare few finally come to recognize the self. In the 7th chapter, Bhagavan says, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam vetti tattvataha. Out of millions and millions of people, very rare few walk this path. Very rare few get the inspiration or the necessary jidnyasa to know their self. See, even in the world we find that elementary school or kindergarten, lots of children go. But in the primary school and all, little less. Secondary school, less. Dropouts are there. Then in colleges, still less. And those who really do some research and really go to the top of their learning, they're very, very less. Research scholars and all, you will find 1 or 2 roaming around in the huge university. And you can see, look at them and recognize them also. They're wearing thick glasses and all, carrying one joli with some books and all, and going in the wrong direction. So they are generally the research scholars. So they are rare people. But because of them, actually, the science progresses, the knowledge increases in the world. Lot of new things come up. Like all the things which we are using, our mobile, our things and all, is because of those who have put forth effort, research they have done. Day and night they have struggled to find the secret of nature. They are very rare people. Those who really understand the mechanism of a mobile are very, very rare. Others, they know, यहाँ उंगली बंद कैसे करना है बता दो, प्रवचन में बजने लगता है तो काफ़ी गड़बड़ हो जाती है. हाँ, people have sophisticated, their children give and sophisticated, and बजने लगता है, you don't know what to do. Because in the good old days, simple thing was there, you just pick up the phone or something. Now you have to swipe, you have to do this, you do that. So we know how to use, but we don't know the mechanism behind. Similarly, we know how to live. That also very few knows. But we know how to live, but we don't know what is life. We don't know what is that Atma. That is very few, rare few people know. Just living, for living, self-knowledge is not required. Somehow surviving, self-knowledge is not required. But those who really strive to know are very rare. So Bhagavan says, those who finally know themselves, they look at that self as a wonder. Wonder is that which adbhut, which you have never seen before. Adrishtapurvam, adbhutam, akasmat drishyamanam, Shankaracharya ji writes. Sometimes suddenly we see some phenomena which we had never seen before. It's like a adbhut. We are wonderstruck. Only thing happen is our मुंह खुल जाता है आ. Therefore आ में आश्चर्य means आश्चरति, आ हो जाता है, कुछ नहीं निकलता है मुंह से. It's called आश्चर्य. So our own self, we are talking about ourself, you, me, I. That I is such a wonder that one who really comprehends it, he looks at it as a wonder. We think we are seated in this little body. We are not in this body. We are everywhere. If we think we are born and we will die, that is also wrong. We never die. If we think we are miserable, it is also wrong. We are of the nature of happiness, bliss. If we think we are different, this world is different, that is also wrong, incorrect. The whole world exists in the real self. So it's the most amazing phenomena, amazing reality. One who knows, they look at it, even after realizing it, they comprehend it as a wonder. Ascharyavat pashyati kaschidinam, some rare few. Ascharyavat vadati tathaiva chanyaha. And those who speak about it is also rare. The speakers, those who talk about this reality, such people are also rare. Other speakers and other things बहुत मिल जाएंगे, but one who talks about the supreme reality is rare, and that is also great ascharya. And those who talk about it, they talk about it as a wonder. Ascharyavat vadati. After saying, they say na iti, कि इतना ही नहीं, उससे much more. Whatever I say about it, it's much more wonderful. If I say it is infinite, it is much more than infinity. If I say it is blissful, it is much more than blissful. So ascharyavat vadati tathaiva cha anyaha. And ascharyavat cha enam anyashrunoti. And if others listen to this, if there are listeners who are listening about this self-knowledge, that is also great wonder. Sometimes our Swamiji used to say, some people ask, why not more people come to listen to this great knowledge? He says that even less people, when they come, even few comes, sometimes one wonder why have they come. Because it's such a wonder. So to listen about it is great wonder. See, we live in our country, we are known for this spiritual knowledge, but out of billions of people who are here now, I don't know how many of them in our country, very rare few know about this. Generally people know temples. Hinduism means they feel temple, ritual, jal chadao, prasad khalo, and all those things. Or Ramayana, Bhagavad, but the Upanishads, and that too, the knowledge which is revealed here is understood and known to very rare few. Most of the people, they know spirituality through some newspaper columns only or some speaking tree or something. Or nowadays actually with all this electronic thing, quotations people keep on sending, irritating like. Savere savere kuch quotation aa jata. That is spirituality for the day. Yes, very irritating. Because they get up early and they send spiritual quotation for everyone, all their friend circle. So that आज का spirituality हो गया. So quotations or some forward messages, this, that, उससे नहीं चलता है काम. The real depth is there in our Upanishads. We have to understand. So one who listens and appreciates this is a great wonder. Those who listen itself is a great one. Ascharyavatcha enam anyashrunoti. And again, a greater wonder, कि after listening they understand. Shrutva api enam vedana chaiva kaschit. Bhagavan says, even after listening, many don't understand it. If somebody understands, then it is a great wonder. It's about myself. But even there are people who hear for years together. और कभी कभी कुछ पल्ले नहीं पड़ता है कुछ नहीं. And people, they keep that only as a record. I have been listening for past 20 years, you know. चलो कुछ बोलो कुछ. नहीं बोल नहीं सकता हूँ मैं. 5 minutes you talk sense. Sometimes it's very difficult to talk about the reality or to express it or to comprehend it. It's not to create it's not to dishearten us, but to tell us about the beauty of this great self. We can understand, we can know, we can realize. And that is the heart of our country, India. India is known for this knowledge. And this is so great that this is what we have to acquire for ourselves and share it with the whole world. The whole world will get transformed only through this knowledge. Otherwise, we are becoming mad day by day. The world is becoming more and more pagal. People are becoming more and more consumeristic, like consuming things, hyper, using things and throwing it immediately, throw away culture like. Because these things like even pani pi lete wo phek dete hai. All these throwaway things are there. And same attitude we have towards relationship, towards our everything. Even towards God, towards religion, थोड़े दिन practice छोड़ देते, थोड़ा ये पकड़ते छोड़ देते. वो भगवान को छोड़ दिया मैंने, नया पकड़ लिया है. So like that will not really help. So Ascharyavat pashyati kaschidenam. This is the beauty. Similar shloka is there in Kathopanishad also. Therefore, Bhagavan now concludes his that one topic in the next verse. Dehi nityamavadhyoyam dehe sarvasya bharata tasmat sarvani bhutani natvam shochitum arhasi. Dehi nityamavadhyoyam dehe sarvasya bharata. Therefore Bhagavan says Dehi, this Atma which is called Dehi, which is present in our Deha, which is experienced as I, without, beyond the thoughts, beyond the Antakarana, which is present even when we go to sleep, even when the body is not functioning, the mind is not functioning, the self is present in deep sleep state. That self is called Dehi, Atma. So Dehi Nityam is eternal, Avadhyoyam, and is indestructible, cannot be destroyed. Dehe Sarvasya Bharata, not only in your body but all the bodies. In all the bodies, even when the body gets destroyed, this Atma is not destroyed. And we have to recognize it before the body drops off. Then what happens? Then whatever happens to the body or whatever, we become free of all fears. We have to hold on. Just like when we go to take bath in Gangaji and all, the flow is so powerful that if we just go inside, we will be taken away. So there are those poles and chains and all are there. चेन को पकड़ के रहना चाहिए, नहीं तो बेचैन अगर हो जाए तो अभी चेन में था वो बेचैन हो गया. Swept away. Gangaji doesn't keep like that. She just takes people away. So one has to hold on to things which are stable. Don't try to hold on to each other and all, then it will be gadbad. Hold on to something which is steady, which is stable, which is firm. Similarly, in all the changing phenomena of this world, only thing which doesn't change is yourself. So hold on to yourself. If you hold on to anything in this world, it will go away and you will become disappointed. Whether people, whether money, whether name, fame, anything else other than the self will go away. This self itself is called God. Self in all is God. So hold on to God, hold on to that Supreme Self. That is the safest thing. So Dehi Nityam Avadhyoyam, Dehe Sarvasya Bharata. In all the bodies, this Dehi, this Atma, which is common in all the bodies, is Nityam and Avadhya, indestructible. Tasmat Sarvani Bhutani. It is same in all the beings. Not only in human beings, but all beings, that Atma is indestructible and eternal. Therefore, hey Arjuna, natvam shochitum arhasi. Therefore, hey Arjuna, please don't grieve. ऐसे रोती सूरत लेके मेरे सामने मत खड़ा रहो. Anyway, he didn't say like this, but he just said, don't grieve. Natvam shochitum arhasi. See, Bhagavan Krishna himself, his whole life was full of so much of action. As soon as he was born, he had to be shifted to Gokul, then to Vrindavan, then so many those asuras, they came to kill him. But he remained happy throughout. So, natvam shochitum harasi. You don't have to grieve. Now, from the following shlokas, Bhagwan again talks from a worldly standpoint, from the standpoint of our duties, from the standpoint of our ideas about fame, success, enjoyment in this world, becoming what you call avoiding sin, performing, gaining punya. From that standpoint, Bhagwan will be talking that from that standpoint also there is no need for you to grieve. That portion we will do tomorrow. Now we will sit for 5 minutes quietly and meditate on our own self. We'll chant Om once. With our eyes closed, also we can experience the presence of the world around us. We can feel our body. We can experience our breathing. We can also experience some thinking happening, some feeling happening in our antakarana. We are the experiencer, we are the subject, the seer, the witness, the knower, the Atma, the Dehi. That Atma doesn't have any shape, doesn't have any colors, no form, no smell. One cannot touch it. It doesn't have any parts. It is changeless, eternal, always present. Always present. पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।